In the next session, aim for 5 reps in sets 1 through 4 and 8 reps in set 5. Gradually increase volume with the same weight. Once the volume goal is hit, raise the weight and reduce the volume temporarily. The beauty of this method is that you can finally control progressive overload. Hello, this is Shinobi Bench. Today, I'd like to introduce the set structure that helped me the most in reaching a 100 kilogram bench press. Have you ever struggled while aiming for a 100 kilogram bench press? It took me 6 months to reach 100 kilograms. I could get to 80 kilograms pretty quickly, but it took another 4 months to push from there to 100 kilograms. For reference, my current max is 162.5 kilograms. I have taught bench pressing to over 500 clients in Japan. More than 90% of the people I coached for over 3 months have successfully increased their max. In this video, I'll show you the set structure that not only helped me progress but also felt good physically and mentally. I won't claim it works for everyone, but I believe it will be effective for a lot of people. If you find this video interesting, helpful, or feel like supporting me, I'd greatly appreciate it if you could subscribe to the channel and give it a thumbs up. I'm also looking forward to your comments. Let's dive right into the main topic. Here's the outline for today. Principles of training, factors for increasing your max, basic training menu, how to structure the heavy single set, how to structure the main sets, what to do when you fail, important points. When structuring sets, let's get started. Principles of training. Before discussing sets, let me explain the training principle I value the most: progressive overload. It simply means gradually increasing the load. I apply the principle of progressive overload to all my training. Ways to increase load include increasing the weight, increasing the number of reps, increasing the number of sets, shortening rest intervals, pausing at the bottom, factors for increasing your bench press max. Let's confirm the necessary elements for increasing your bench press max. They are muscle mass, strength, and form. You'll need all three to hit 100 kilograms. Muscle mass is developed through volume, calculated by weight times reps. Strength is built through intensity, heavy single sets. Form is refined through all training. Note that muscle hypertrophy doesn't always directly translate to an increase in your max, something to be cautious about. I'll discuss this in more detail in a future video. Basic training menu. Now, here's how I structure a basic training session when aiming for a 100 kilogram max with 3 training days per week. Warm up. Lift 20 kilograms as much as you like. 60 kilograms for 1 rep, 80 kilograms for 1 rep, 85 kilograms for 1 rep. After warming up, top single at 90 to 100 kilograms. The top single is about 90 to 100% of your 1 RM. After the top single, 5 main sets. After the main sets, 3 sets of feet up narrow bench press. In total, that's 11 sets, all bench press focused. As I mentioned in top 3 mistakes to avoid before reaching 100 kilogram bench press, including too many other chest exercises, can slow your bench press technical improvement. I recommend keeping your focus on the bench press itself. How to structure the heavy single set. The heavy single set starts at about 90% of your max and gradually increases with each session. Lifting too heavy too often can break down your form and lead to injury, so I don't max out every session. When I got close to 100 kilograms, I was tempted to lift it frequently, but that led to injury, so I don't recommend it. For example, if I successfully lift 95 kilograms, but feel 100 kilograms would be too much that day, I stick with 95 kilograms. Once you can lift 95 kilograms for 2 reps confidently, you can attempt a new max. The purpose of the heavy single set is to strengthen the nervous system. Lifting heavy reduces dormant muscles and increases your maximal output. It also exposes form errors that lighter weights may conceal. Sometimes, even if your 1 RM conversion suggests you can lift 100 kilograms, you might fail because you haven't mastered the skill or form needed for a true single rep. Lifting a heavy single is a skill too, so even beginners should include it in their training, as long as it's done safely. How to structure the main sets. Now for the main sets. The structure that helped me the most before hitting 100 kilograms was a combination of 5 reps, 5 sets, and 8 reps, 5 sets. What's important is to go all out on the final set of every session. Start with 5 reps, 5 sets at about 80 to 85% of your 1 rep max. Adjust the weight to match your individual level. In the next session, aim for 5 reps in sets 1 through 4 and 8 reps in set 5. If you only get 7 reps in set 5, aim for 8 reps again in the next session. Once you hit 8 reps in set 5, shift to 8 reps for sets 4 and 5 in the next session. Gradually increase the number of 8 rep sets. When you can do all 5 sets for 8 reps, increase the weight by 2.5 kilograms and start over at 5 reps, 5 sets. It looks like this. Gradually increase volume with the same weight. Once the volume goal is hit, raise the weight and reduce the volume temporarily. The beauty of this method is that you can finally control progressive overload. In traditional straight sets, you might jump from 80 kilograms 5 reps 5 sets to 82.5 kilograms 5 reps 5 sets, but that can feel like too big a step and lead to frequent failures and accumulated fatigue, likely neural fatigue. I don't consider that true progressive overload. With my method, if you can add even 1 rep to the final set, it counts as progress, allowing for fine-tuned progression. When you increase the weight, the reduced volume makes it easier to complete your sets. Large weight jumps can cause plateaus, but small incremental increases help avoid that. Of course, there are times when it's better to aggressively push for bigger jumps. What to do when you fail? Even with small increments, sometimes you'll have bad days and fail to complete the sets. For example, if you're stuck at 5, 8, 8, 8, 8 with 80 kilograms and can't hit 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, what should you do? If you fail after 2 to 3 tries, drop the weight back to 5, 5, 5, 5, 5 and rebuild. 5, 5, 5, 5, 8, 5, 5, 5, 8, 8, 5, 5, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8. It may seem like you're wasting 4 training sessions, but sometimes taking a step back is the fastest way forward. Reducing the load relieves fatigue and lets you surpass the plateau more easily. This approach works for max attempts too. If you fail at 97.5 kilograms, drop back to 90 kilograms for the next session and rebuild step by step. Honestly, I can only say this now in hindsight. Back when I was aiming for 100 kilograms, I stubbornly stuck to failed weights and got injured. Later, after injuries forced me to drop the weight and fix my form, I found I could overcome previous plateaus quite easily. Interestingly, world champion bench presser Kotama also includes this concept in his training programs, progressing by zigzagging up and down. Knowing when to push and when to back off is key. Important points when structuring sets. No matter how good the program or set structure, blindly following it is not a good idea. It's crucial to judge whether it suits you. For that, I recommend keeping records. Memory is unreliable. Records are much more accurate. Keeping long-term training logs helps you spot patterns, like when you're prone to injuries. It's very beneficial. In business, there's the concept of the PDCA cycle: plan, do, check, act. And I believe it applies to bench press training as well. Plan, program, set structure, do, training check, videos, logs, act, improvements. Repeating this cycle helps you build better training habits over time. If you're in your teens or 20s, it's fine to train hard without overthinking. Your muscle growth and recovery will be much faster. Sometimes it's good to train with reckless abandon while you can. I'm turning 40 this year, and while I may still be young, I can't match the recovery speed and growth of someone in their teens or 20s. For that reason, strategic planning in set structure becomes increasingly important. That's all for today. If you found this video interesting or helpful, or if you feel like supporting me, please subscribe to the channel and give it a thumbs up. Let's keep pushing our bench press to new heights. See you next time.